Hello, and thank you for joining us today. We're excited to have you here for this Doctorate of Business Administration info session hosted by Grenoble École de Management. And today we're excited to share information about one of our 9 research teams and introduce you to GEM's DBA program. So this webinar will be an introduction to the DBA process and the research journey you will undertake as a DBA candidate, and explore the management research possibilities in the field of marketing. So marketing covers many different things, from strategy and positioning to the science of consumer behaviors, which we'll discuss today. And we have invited our colleagues along to explore the type of research that GEM does in the field of consumer behavior in order to inspire future DBA candidates and answer questions about the research process more broadly. So this is a great session to understand the range of different topics that can be studied in management research and hopefully inspire some ideas. So we'll be recording today and making this presentation available online. So please feel free to type your questions into the chat. And we'll get to them during the Q&A section at the end. And we encourage you to engage, ask questions, and make the most of this session. So let's get started. We will start with introductions of our doctoral school team. So I'm Jenny Hinderscheid. I am the head of marketing of the DBA, MBA, and Executive MBA programs at GEM. And to introduce my 2 colleagues.
Hello, everyone. My name is Charis Lee. I am Assistant Professor of Marketing and at the same time, the Academic Director of actually 2 DBA programs cohort. One is in collaboration with HEG Geneva, that's in Switzerland, and another one in Kosminski University in Warsaw, Poland. So these are 2 partnership locations where we recruit local students either from Switzerland or from Poland, and I'll be here guide their doctorate journey.
Thank you. And Marianne.
Okay, so I'm professor in finance at GEM and the academic director of the US cohort, so overviewing all the US DBA students with us. And I'm doing this for 3 years now. It is a very inspiring role to play. Happy to be here.
All right, thank you. And now presenting our 2 guest speakers today, Robert and Fiona. Could you please introduce yourselves?
Hello. Yes, I'm Robert Mai. I'm a full professor in marketing and I'm the scientific advisor of the marketing department. And I'm also regularly supervising DBA students.
Hello, my name is Satadruta Mukherjee. People call me Fiona here. I'm an assistant professor of marketing, and I also supervise DBA students.
Great, thank you so much. So just real quickly about the GEM DBA. So the DBA is a tailored 3-year part-time, internationally recognized DBA or doctoral program aimed at business leaders and academics who want to enhance their career by leveraging research to solve complex issues. At GEM, today we're looking through the academic focus through 9 research teams. So we invite you to take a look at our website, familiarize yourself with our 9 teams you can see here. But that said, the DBA is also very personal, and your research does not necessarily have to align directly to one of these teams. So if you have any questions about your research topic or what you'd like to do, we can get to that in the Q&A, or please reach out to us. So without further ado, I will hand the reins to Robert and Fiona, who will present Introduction to Consumer Research Behavior.
Okay, welcome everyone. So I'll be starting a little bit with the overview of the kind of topics that we do research on in our team, and then Robert will take over at some point. So to start with, when we say marketing, most of the time, people just associate it with advertisements. Actually, next. So while advertisements are important and that is the common way in which we get to know the brands, there is a lot of psychological theory and understanding behind designing these advertisements. So academically, we actually delve into the psychological understanding of why certain colors would appeal to the consumers, or how whether they will be a better fit with some brands while not such a good fit with some other brands, why certain images are more attractive to the consumers, or if a humorous message can make things much more exciting for the consumers. So we look into various such brand elements, even music these days, that has been a very big area of research, how that can enhance the brand's image and create certain perceptions in the minds of the consumer. So while the marketers are designing all these different elements, they don't know whether they are able to communicate the right message and whether it is being perceived the intended way by the consumers. So in our research, we get into the shoes of the consumer to see why certain things appeal to them and what they think about it, and whether at all that helps the consumers decide whether they want to purchase the brand or not, or whether they want to associate themselves with the brand or not. Now, there are certain aspects about the brands that we study. Now, for the luxury brands specifically, there are some added complexities. So, for example, luxury brands face the challenge of counterfeits. So, therefore, we look into certain ways in which we can make the consumers aware of counterfeits or deter them from owning counterfeits. We look into certain questions that would help the luxury brands identify how they can build the social status and prestige that would justify the exclusive prices that they charge the consumers. So therefore, in the recent times, with the change of technology, the luxury brands, all brands, but specifically the luxury brands, have faced some challenges with the adaptation of technology, specifically digital marketing and social media. While it helps the brands to engage with the consumers more, they can take advantage of influencer marketing or celebrities. There's also the question of whether they can preserve their exclusivity. Now, one can say that, okay, we all know about these questions, but it's still, there's a lot of dynamics going on behind the scenes, which in academics we try to answer and help the brands take advantage of those strategies in terms of influencer marketing or digital marketing. Now, again, our research is not just about advertisements, products, and brands. We also study how customer service or customer satisfaction can be enhanced. So that takes us to the domain of relationship marketing. For example, these days we have personalization by AI. So if you go on Netflix, you can see certain recommendations based on your past viewership, or if you go on to Amazon, you see certain recommendations based on your past purchases. So all these different personalizations, whether they have the intended effect on the consumer, can be studied in our type of research. A very important field of research in the service sector is also, if the service fails, then what kind of strategies can be employed to recover this service failure. And with the advent of digital transformation, now we have the chatbots, virtual assistants, other digital tools for service delivery. And we are, as marketers, still figuring out whether they have the intended effects, or whether we need to make some changes or do some kind of hybridization in order to achieve the optimal level of mix of technology and human intervention in marketing. The implications of advertisement or marketing activities can be a lot. So if we look into one of them is about consumption issues. So we try to design some activities, advertisements that could help the customers to make the right choices, the healthy choices. So for example, again, if I serve a certain portion of food on a big plate versus a small plate, it has been observed that people would perceive that they are more satiated when they are eating from the smaller plate. So certain small changes like this can make a big difference, and therefore we look into certain activities or strategies that can enhance this kind of healthy behavior on part of the consumer. So this can also be extended to the domain of subscribing for sports activities or gym membership. So there are a lot of interesting things that we can explore in terms of health implications of marketing. We also have a big contribution in terms of social issues. So for example, gift giving. So gift giving can be perceived as something that we do to maintain relationship or as a social norm. But what kind of motivations do we have? What kind of emotional rewards are we getting? Is it altruism, or it's just I want to be perceived as someone, to have a certain self-identity or social identity? So again, various psychological nuances and motivations go into our choices when we are choosing a gift for someone. And also the question, who is that someone? So do we choose the same gift when we are choosing for our spouse versus a friend? Or do we choose the same thing when we are choosing for someone else versus myself? So again, there are certain psychological factors which dictate our relationship. In terms of marketing, one might think, okay, so what? So the so what question is answered if suppose we are trying to create an advertisement content where it's shown that someone's buying a gift from a very premium brand for their special one. So what kind of content would then appeal to the consumer? To understand this appeal, then we'll have to understand the motivation of the consumer. So that is where the implications come in. Also, these days, when we are shopping online, we often get free gifts from the retailer just to engage the customers or to value the loyalty. So therefore, such surprise gifts can really enhance the brand's loyalty, and therefore that can be an area of exploration in terms of research. So again, social issues like stigma, or I think I should define the term stigma here, has been a area of interest currently, because we are trying to create a socially inclusive society today. So stigma is to denounce or disapprove of someone based on any features like race, gender, age, sexual orientation, special abilities, etc. So as marketers, can we create a more inclusive society for them? So what kind of products will these people like? So for example, again, there has been some research that has shown that certain type of colors, certain type of patterns can appeal to those who are stigmatized, because it helps them feel more included. So therefore, again, there is scope of research in this domain. Sustainability is a huge issue today. We all know why. So again, we are trying to look at all the different ways in which we can make the consumers aware, as well as take part into environmental friendly or sustainable behavior. With the change of technology, we have various tools at our at our disposal. So we have all these different social media platforms, e-commerce, influencer marketing. So how do the brands take advantage of them? To what extent, or which aspect of these platforms can help the brand to gain a footing or a distinction in the branding domain? So, for example, again, in e-commerce, when someone is shopping online, do they behave the same way on laptop versus mobile? How do they scroll? How are they comparing the different options against each other? In terms of influencer marketing, do they perceive the micro influencers and macro influencers in the same way, or are they the same kind of fit for a type of brand? So all these different aspects can be studied in the digital marketing aspect of consumer behavior. Metaverse is again a very new a new domain, and we are still exploring. A lot of brands are advertising in the metaverse domain. So again, the question is, when the people are interacting with the brands in the virtual reality, does that affect their behavior in the physical reality? So if they like something on the virtual platform, do they go and purchase it in the physical platform or physical reality? So again, those are certain questions that we look at. So here again, we look at certain theories which are related to information processing. So this takes us into the neuromarketing domain. So again, when I'm exposed to certain stimulus, it affects certain areas of my brain. So we look at all these different responses and try to understand how people process certain information, linguistic cues, or if that varies with different types of culture. Misinformation today is not just about political misinformation. It can be misinformation about different brands, different personalities. So again, that would have implication for brands as well as influencers. Therefore, it is important to identify such misinformation and find a way to combat with these issues. Last but not the least, we have the big elephant in the room, the AI. So the AI is transforming our lives in terms of smart objects. We have robots doing our cooking and cleaning, and sometimes threatening to take our jobs by creating different types of content. Who knows, we'll become obsolete after few days as academics. But with the generative AI, with the robots and the smart objects, we are still trying to find out how the consumers interact and what kind of implications it has for the consumer's wellness. What are the policy implications that can emerge from this kind of research? So yeah, broadly, I know I went a bit quickly, but this is just to give an overview of the different types of things we look at. So just to conclude on my part, I didn't want the marketing to be perceived as only advertisement. It has so many different contributions and so many different impacts on the society. So I'll turn over to Robert to continue with the different methods that we follow.
Yes, so let's hope we're not getting redundant very soon. As regards the methods and the data that we are using in marketing, I would say the field of marketing has the luxury of having an access to participants that is quite easy. Maybe we have the easiest access to participants compared to all the other fields, because everybody is a consumer in one way or another. So what we see in the past for our previous DBA students, quite often they get or they exploit the possibilities they have. They have certain interests, and quite often they also have access to data. And by data, we mean data that can be collected in many, many different ways. Yeah, so there are four examples that you see here on the screen, but we also use interviews, for example. We also use discussions, focus groups, observations, or more quantifiable data is also quite often used, sometimes in combination with each other. So DBA students do an interview, for example, and then they conduct a survey, or they conduct an experiment, or if there is the possibility, field experiments. So doing an experiment with real consumers or real real firms, whatever is accessible. Yeah, surveys, and sometimes we also exploit secondary data. So this can be data that can be scraped from the internet, that can be data that is available through previous research. This can be data that's made available from research companies, from policymakers, you can name it. So the instruments that we're using are quite diverse, ranging from being very qualitative in a sense that it is very, to some extent, subjective and is derived from individual interviews, for example, to very number-driven quantitative data, for example, coming from surveys or experiments. Okay. Could you go to the next slides? Here's an example from an experiment that we did in a lab. So here at Grenoble École de Management, if you join the program, we're going to take you to the different labs and show you the different facilities in which studies are conducted, in which experiments are conducted, and quite often they are conducted in realistic consumption environments. Here, what you see in the background, this is our fashion store, but we have more. We also have a supermarket. We have a room that mimics a street. And we also have a living room, for example, where different types of studies can be conducted. Okay, next, please. So to finish the presentation of the type of research, the type of topics that we do at our department, here a few examples of ongoing projects with DBA students or the projects that have recently been concluded. So what you see here on the left-hand side serves perhaps as an example to give you an idea of how the research can look like that you conduct in your DBA thesis. So this student is looking at dog patterns. So these are strategies that companies use in order to nudge you in a certain direction, in order to make you pay a higher price, or in order to hand over your data. So I guess we all have experienced these when browsing the internet or when trying to purchase a flight on Opodo or one of these cheaper websites. And this student has run an experiment, or has conducted an experiment with 3 groups. So he created a website, one that did not contain these strategies, another website that contained several of these strategies. So you could not really consent, or you could not undo the cookies. And then in the third version, he gave control over his data, and he, after participants booked one trip, he collected their opinions and studied if there were systematic differences in these websites. And now he's going to work on this and transform this into his final thesis. What you see on the right-hand side here, a student is comparing different digital strategies, so digital advertisement to digital content delivery, and the effects this can have on users or consumers' purchase intentions and the relationship with the company. Okay, and on the last slide, the next one, here we have an example of a DBA student that has already defended his thesis last year. So this student used a mixed method approach. So by mixed method approach, the student conducted a number of interviews with key decision makers inside a healthcare company. So he used something that we call qualitative techniques or qualitative interviews, and he combined the insights gains from these interviews with a number of surveys that were conducted among healthcare employees of the same company. And what was discovered or examined or investigated in that research was to identify the drivers that make you contribute to a firm's innovation strategy. And they found, for example, that goal clarity, the fit between the strategy and the department goals, as well as the goal adaptability, all of these jointly together interact and increase an employee's likelihood to contribute to a firm's innovation strategy. So depending on your interests and depending on also sometimes exploiting certain opportunities or possibilities one may have, the topic can be framed or can be identified as marketing is extremely broad. So just to not sound like a broken record, marketing is not only advertising, but it's very broad and involves lots of many different perspectives. Thank you very much. I hope we could give you an idea about what we do, what type of topics we cover, what types of methods we use. And now I hand over back to Jean.
All right, well, thank you so much. I think, again, to everybody, please feel free to enter your questions into the chat. I think not everybody on this call today will necessarily have be in marketing, but I think this might get the ball rolling to think about the different methods, to think about your research question, and which our team is happy to answer your question. So to explain a little bit about our program before we dive into the Q&A, so just about why the GEM DBA. So you can complete this very rigorous program in just 3 years. Our DBA is structured to be both comprehensive and efficient. So you'll also earn a degree from a triple accredited business school. So we are AACSB and EQUIS, one of the top 1% worldwide to hold this prestige. We have a very strong global network, so you would be a part of over 700 alumni and students across industries and continents all over the world. We have the option to study in 2 locations primarily, France and USA, and then we'll also discuss our 2 partnerships with you in just a moment. We offer this in a blended format, so online and on-site, so it's really adapted to be followed while you're working. So you do not quit your job, and we offer specializations in year 3. Again, we'll explain this in just a second. We are the most experienced program in Europe. So over 30 years old, started in 1993. We're one of the few programs to offer supervision from day 1. So all of our supervisors are research active and specialists in your field. We are a member of EDBAC, so very active in the US, and we're top-ranked research, one of the top-ranked business schools in France in research. So Marielle, would you like to explain maybe a little bit about our 2 cohorts, France and the US? Just quickly.
Yes, certainly. Yes, indeed. So we have 2 cohorts running in parallel. Having said that, they're very much mixing up together. So they have we have seminars that we stage together. One takes place in Grenoble, and we have one taking place in Paris. So that's where both cohorts actually meet up and mingle together. There's one seminar that we do separately. So the US flies out to Los Angeles, and France stays in France. And that is a way to really get bonding with your cohorts, with your peers, which we experience is very important for the DBA journey, to be doing this together. We see that helps immensely in getting into the groove and to actually help each other out, to motivate each other, and to actually go from the milestones to milestone that we set out for them until the very end, to coming to defending a doctoral thesis.
All right, thank you. And anyone can join either our DBA France or DBA USA cohort from anywhere you are in the world. So you could have the option to choose one of these. And both of those schedules are found on our website. And also to explain our 2 partnerships that we've launched this year. Charis, would you like to introduce them?
Yeah, of course. So, well, to fulfill the demand from candidates based in Switzerland and also based in Poland. Actually, these are 2 big countries that we found a lot of our students from. We are now collaborating with the Haute École de Gestion, HEG, in Geneva, to have a location serving Swiss-based students, and also the Kosminski University in Warsaw, Poland, to serve students based in Poland. And so these students, they still benefit from our GEMS faculty, our GEM faculty's teaching, and also our faculty's supervision. But at the same time, they have the benefit of the partnership schools faculty for their local supervision, as if they choose them as their supervisors. And similar to our France and USA programs, 3 out of 4 seminars for all of their students will be based in Grenoble or in Paris, taught by GEM faculty, and one, which is the second seminar in the role, will be in the local location, either in Geneva or in Warsaw, taught in collaboration with our partner schools. Yeah, so these are two really great schools that we are working with, and you can definitely benefit from both our GEMS resources and our partner schools resources.
Yes, we're very excited to launch these partnerships this year and grow our amazing network.
Right.
So just quickly about our program structure, we do offer a specialization in year 3. So this specialization does not need to be linked to your research topic. This is a way for you to grow your research expertise in year 3 to reconnect with your cohorts. And you can choose one of these on sustainability, managing technology and innovation, or managing and leading people. So we find that this will be a fun project for you to get further research expertise and to get to know some more of the GEMS and take advantage of GEMS research as well. So how to apply? So the biggest part of your DBA application will be your research topic and motivation statement. So we are looking for 4 things. Your managerial and business issue you want to investigate and why. So the current state of knowledge on this topic with supporting academic references, a reflection on methods and data collection. So how could you address this managerial and business issue, and your motivations to do this essay. So we can dive into this a bit more during the Q&A, but these are some things to start to think about. And perhaps many of you on this call have been thinking about this for a year or 2 already. It takes a long time to start to get ready to do a DBA. But we want to know that you've thought about doing a doctorate, that you know why you want to do it, what it is that's going to be your passion over the next 3 years, that you can start to look at academic literature and think, what does the world already know about this topic, and what is my contribution? What is my brick to the wall, right? And start to, again, on the methods and data collection, we will not hold you to this, but we want you to start to think about what access to data you might have already. And what would this look like for you? Have you started to consider how you would go about your research? How is your life going to look over the next 3 years? So again, we can discuss this a bit more in the Q&A, and we have quite a few experts here on the call for you to ask your questions. So where you can discover more information, we have quite a bit of information on our website. We also have a testimonials and blog where you can read directly from the experiences of our 700 alumni and students. We have quite a few videos of replays of these info sessions. And we're really active on LinkedIn. So feel free to join our LinkedIn page, connect with us, and ask us any questions you might have. So thank you very much. And with that, we will launch into the Q&A. So I will stop my slides here. So the first question is about scholarships. So we do offer a very modest scholarship for early applicants. The deadline is at the end of June. That said, it's only 5,000 euros, and it's quite competitive. So it is a executive program in which the DBA is self-funded or sometimes funded by employers. So that is also an option, is to discuss this with your employer and how you could finance your DBA. And I see a hand raised. Excuse me, let me just set the Oh, there's a question there. So while I change the settings so you can jump on the call, we'll read this question aloud. The research topic I'm considering is comparing the impact of scripted versus unscripted digital storytelling on the perceived authenticity, emotional connection, and brand loyalty in the luxury automotive market in the GCC. For the relevant reading section, can we include practical, well-known marketing books like Seth Godin's This Is Marketing? I love that book. Or should it strictly consist of academic and peer review sources? Well, we'll let all of our marketing experts jump in on this one. This is a great question.
Yeah, this is a great question, and it also sounds, or is a great topic, definitely. And it's already, the research question is already structured in a way that we would expect it to be when you start your journey. To your question about the sources, yes, books can be helpful. And yes, academic and peer-reviewed sources are what would be what we would like to see. So books I suggest to use in order to explain why or how you would like to start your journey, why that research question is interesting, or to contextualize it. Yeah, and then if you can complement this with further academic peer-reviewed sources, even better. But in case somebody is not or does not know the distinction between the two, once you're in that journey, there will be seminars on how to find literature, where to find literature, how to organize and manage it. So this question is already going exactly in the right direction, and there will be more in that in the seminars later that are accompanying this course, this journey.
Thank you. For your application, at least, we'd ask that you look at just a few recent, say in the last 5 years, publications, and yes, again, start to contextualize your questions. So that's really good. Next question is, I'm currently enrolled in another program in Europe. I'm in my 3rd year, and if I want to apply to your business school to finish my research, does this mean I'm going to have to start from scratch? We do make some exceptions. It is hard to jump in the middle of a program. So what we would suggest is in some cases, our program's divided into phase 1 and phase 2. So in some cases, you're able to enter directly into phase 2. If you've prepared and defended your research topic proposal or your research proposal. So I think you should reach out to us, send us your documentation, which you've written so far, and our team will look it over. That's probably the easiest way. Marielle, perhaps you've got more experience with this, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, indeed, we had one such student last year. Well, she defended her thesis last year. Indeed, was very far advanced in her case in a PhD, and changed her mind, her country, and there were all sorts of reasons to come to us. And indeed, as Jeannie says, that's she entered directly in stage 2 of the program. Yeah, it's possible.
Thanks. And I have a hand raised. Vasily, do you just want to unmute and feel free to ask your question?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for this presentation. It was really interesting and very useful. I had another question, but now another one appeared. So this opportunity to jump into the second part of the program, it's connected only with other DBA or PhD programs, or with, for example, executive MBA or executive masters as well? Because as you know, everywhere you should write a long thesis, and sometimes it's quite similar to the one that you're going to write in DBA. So how it works?
Perhaps I take this one. We indeed assess the status of where the student is in, and it doesn't matter if it's PhD, DBA. We actually make the assessment case by case.
I see. Great.
But your master's thesis would not be eligible. We're very much a research-focused doctoral program.
Totally understand. And my main question was regarding the topic, because I'm coming from sustainability field, and that's why I also choose the Grenville Business School, because I saw that you're one of the best research schools in sustainability, which is shown by one of your research fields, which is sustainability. But in the same time, I didn't see the lab focused on sustainability. So in this case, how it works? So you just decide, I mean, you as myself as a student and you as a school, we decide together which like lab corresponds to the topic the most, or it might be another way around.
Again, I can answer. We have a chair called Energy for Society. So who specializes on this question of energy transition, etc. It depends. Again, it's case by case. So we look at what you are interested in, and we find a close match with supervisor, and that we have in the marketing department as well as in the finance department. We have everywhere people working on sustainability issues.
Amazing. So if I understood you correctly, it's also possible before doing an application to maybe discuss the most important topic for the school, because I did some researches and I had few topics which I'm doing in parallel during my business activities. And most probably your school has some priorities, and it might be a win-win situation to align like my topic with your priorities in the best way. So it's possible the question is it possible to make some preliminary consultation with a representative of the school to decide which topic might be the best, might fit the best?
So in this case, the DBA is highly personalized. So what we'd recommend is picking a topic that really just fits you. If it's a topic that's completely outside of management or business, we will tell you that it's not, linked to our specialty. But I think you need to think about what is it that you bring to the table, right? You will also be coming with your own expertise, your interests, your own access to resources. So and then we help you bring this back to your field. So it's not really about us, even though we have these research active faculty and specialists within either your field or within your research question. It's about what you want to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe
Super.
my
Thank you so
colleagues
much
could
for the
jump in.
answers. Thank you.
But yeah,
Hi,
but because sustainability could be across anything, really. Yeah. Hi.
Absolutely.
Hi, Isaac. I think you had
Hi,
a
Ginny,
question.
can I jump in? Apologies,
Yes,
I can't
please.
seem to type into the chat, so I might
Oh,
have
no,
to just
please.
So Vasily, thanks Vasily. I think I'm also in a similar vein from him, maybe slightly laterally related, where if I have access to proprietary information as part of my work right now, and that actually directly relates to my research topic that I'm interested in pursuing, are there any special handling requirements, right, in terms of data protection, confidentiality, and all that I need to be aware of before I pursue such a program?
What we do in this case, if you have proprietary data and you want to protect this, then we can sign a NDA, non-disclosure agreement, so that indeed there is no issue of, about this data. So is this your question?
Okay, that's not really okay. It's more about if I were to use proprietary information to write the thesis and to put out my case and my research, is there any way that it can kind of be kept under wraps where this information came from, right? That it's just between us that, okay, I got this information from a proprietary source within the company, and these are the information, but it kind of doesn't go public, right? That where this information also came from, because I think that's where I think my company side would be a bit more touchy about such information.
No, indeed, we have these cases, and what usually is helpful is an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement between us or between your employer. Anyway, anything that to settle that. Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
We have this.
Right. And then maybe just one. Carry on, please.
If I can add, for the when you publish your work later, or when you're done with your thesis, it has to be anonymized, or the data sources have to be anonymized. It's the same for the participants. We do not identify them, and you can also not disclose the type of data that you have. But the NDA is a good way to go.
All right, sounds good. Then I think something else for Ginny, a bit more mundane. from a time zoning perspective, for someone coming in from Asia, so I am at GMT +8 right now. So you can imagine it's almost 1 a.m. Would you recommend going with the US timing or the French timing, actually?
Isaac, you're going to be tired either way. It's up to you. It's up to you, really, because actually we bring our cohorts together for a lot of these. And for everybody but you, we seem to find that the 5 p.m. is this magic time. So like right, this call now, where we can bring people in from California. We can hit France, but Middle East. We do have quite a few people in Asia, Singapore, and they join us late, and they're tired. It's hard, but it's sort of so it's up to you. I think the difference would be if you want to join us in Los Angeles for that cohort, the one there, or if you find it better just to stay with the DBA France. But you could go either way, really. Sorry.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
You might just be taking your classes very late, but it
I'll
does
just
happen.
prepare myself for it then. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
We'll send you some coffee.
Appreciate it.
So I have a question here in the chat, and then we'll go to the next hand. It says, what are the key factors that make a DBA proposal stand out, and what common mistakes should we avoid to improve our chances of acceptance? I think standing out is we want to know that you've really given it thought, that you're really motivated to do it. We want to make sure that you're happy doing a DBA. It's a lot of work. 3 years is a long time. That you're in a place in your life in which you're going to succeed at this and enjoy the process, that you've thought through what is a DBA, what is the impact for you. And I think we'd also look at, or things to avoid in your application would be saying things like, this has never been done before. That would hear sometimes. No one's ever researched this topic before. Because research is about looking at the past, right? So and going on that. So starting to think critically, if you come to us and we give you feedback, being able to take our feedback as well. You might feel like a child again when you go back and do this research. It's a new way of thinking. It's exciting. It's challenging. But it's very different from our day-to-day jobs, right? Which is nice. It's an intellectual challenge. So being able to take feedback, to think critically, and just this enjoying of learning. I think that's what we're looking for. And I hope that answers your question. And maybe my colleagues want to jump in with some of their experience as well.
Well, I would add one thing, resilience, because there will be tough times. But once you reach the finish line, even these are bright.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, and I see a hand raised. Joyce, would you like to jump in?
Yes. Good evening. Yes, I'm not able to type again on the chat. Sorry, I could not enable the camera as well. Is it necessary to have a working person to be joining in the DBA? I'm a freelancer right now, based in the Middle East. So how does that basic requirement works? That's my first question. And I'm looking for doing a DBA in the sustainability field as well. So does that criteria, like, do I need to have a full-time job in order to get registered for the DBA, in order to get considered for the DBA?
No, I mean, everybody comes from any sort of background or question. I think just making sure, I guess the financial question, your stability, your access to data, work experience. So those are some things to think about. But no, I mean, freelance is also working, right? So it's definitely not easy either. That makes sense. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, okay. So then that's not the issue then. Okay. So then in terms of sustainability, is it like, do I need to have the graduation in sustainability or related field, or I come from the field of IT projects? I come from the IT background, but I'm shifting to the sustainability side in terms of starting with the corporate training right now.
the training education side of the sustainability right now. I have to still make up my mind which direction I want to go further. So how do I choose the first thing what I see is like I need to have a topic on research. So would I get some help to narrow down my topic?
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Narrowing it down can take a long time. It's one way to get started, and again, my colleagues can jump in on this and give some advice, is start to just go onto Google Scholar and put in like those 3 keywords and start to look at publications in the last 5 years and read the abstracts, look to see if that really resonates with you. If it doesn't, go back, try another keyword. And then maybe something will start to hook. Just get it on paper. Write up a page. What do we know about this subject? And then maybe when you start, you need to kind of know what you want to do because you're going to hit the ground running. But that said, once you get going, 6 months in, your question itself will look quite different, right? You're really going to start to dive into this. You need to know where you want to take it because that's how we will assign our supervisor to you. So you need to have some sort of clarity when you get started because, just saying sustainability is too large, right? So what is the question that you're tackling? But one way, just to know, to give yourself a little bit of relief, you're doing this because you don't know how to do it yet, right? So we're here to teach you and to help you through that as well. So
Okay.
maybe my colleagues would have some tips to get started on your research topic as well. Anybody else want to jump in?
Okay, that sounds nice. Yeah. Okay.
I guess I can say something about switching fields. I think what we're assuming is that DBA students or DBA candidates will start from something that they already know a little bit. Now, if you don't know so much about sustainability, but you know a lot about what you have already done before, for example, what's your freelancing job right now? What field?
I do corporate training, including ESG and the board skills related trainings, negotiations, and the corporate, the complex management side trainings that I do.
Right. I guess you can
So,
start from where you're familiar with, right? From the corporate field, corporate training area to see what has been talked about sustainability. And it's easier to link
the
your
basic thing
existing
that I
work.
see is the gap between. I'm sorry.
Yeah, B2B, I guess there might be a lot of compliance and auditing related to sustainability, right? And that will be something you're familiar with. Then just try to latch onto that and then expand your knowledge and awareness related to other areas of sustainability. And I think sometimes it's also helpful to start reading a popular book about the particular area and to see where it resonates the most with you. I think popular books are more, by the way, popular books written by academics. They're more approachable. They're written for the general public, but also with the thinking process of an academic. And that would help you, I guess, get into the momentum of thinking in that way.
If I may add 2 things. So the first one is what keeps the managers or the people you're interviewing or you're related to your job, what keeps them up at night? So basically, what is the key question, the why question? So if you could identify this. And the second one is opportunities. So quite often the topic may change, but the starting point is as particular access to certain data, or maybe a data set is available, or you have access to a certain population. And then sometimes the research question is transformed and guided by these possibilities that can be exploited. So that could be another way of looking at it or getting the ball rolling.
I'll just add one last thing because we were discussing all this in the context of consumer behavior, and maybe they are curious about the implications of studying sustainability in the marketing context. And I know I rushed through a little bit. So the type of things that we do research on, and Charis, you can obviously add because you focus on this, is first of all, the type of things that we can do in terms of marketing that can push someone to purchase green products or indulge into some kind of sustainable pro-social behavior. Also, there are, because of the new technology, now there's focus on how we can use the AI to encourage sustainable behavior, or how can the AI help in sustainability. Similar implications for blockchain technology, because there has been quite a bit of debate around that. So how we can minimize the carbon footprints for blockchain technology. Yeah, I think so. If you are going into the renewable energy part, then maybe there could be a collaboration between, I think, our energy department and marketing department. So we do certain projects like this where both departments contribute to your research. So it could be about marketing of a certain type of energy or technology, but primarily, when you are applying for sustainable marketing research, then you have to think of the kind of implications your strategies will have. It can be B2B or B2C. In terms of business, what kind of implications it will have.
It's good. I have another question along marketing. It says, for the relevant research areas section, should we stick to the established academic fields like consumer behavior, digital marketing, or can we define more niche areas that align with our topic, like storytelling and marketing?
Yes, absolutely. So it's not a watertight compartment, to be honest. I know when I just went by the slides, I was just trying to see what are the different areas, but all of them are very much well connected. So it's not like psychology does not have a relationship with digital marketing or AI. It's all very interconnected. Again, as we were talking about advertisements, so again, if the government is doing some advertisements for awareness of green campaigns, so those messages can be framed in a gain versus loss format, such that it can help the customers to respond in a certain manner. Yes, they are not watertight compartments, and we can always have collaborations like this. So there can be a qual-quant combination in the process, or we can have one data which is to work with the data set, and which can be followed up with some experiments. And Robert did cover that in the mixed methods discussion to understand certain activities better.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're coming up on the hour. Do we have any last questions? Okay, well, thank you so much. We'll continue to have some more information sessions. We'll send you some email links about this. If you have any questions at all about your application, please reach out to our team. I'll put it in the chat at Grenoble, or dba@grenoble-em.com, and our team will get back to you. Again, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all, and we look forward to receiving your applications and welcoming you to Grenoble in November. So thank you very much. And thank you very much to Robert and Fiona for presenting with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us here.
Thank you very much.